Hey everyone, this is Sophia, the masked ninja, and this we're here, Jen. We're here on a new episode today, and our goal, our mission is always to spark your soul so you can ignite your best life like we're doing, like we're trying to do every day. So the topic today, what we'd like to discuss, take a little time today to talk about how bettering ourselves should be our priority because bettering yourself betters the whole. And so that's something I'm really working hard. I struggled with at first because I feel like I'm a selfless. Not that I'm selfless, but I'm like I got like caretaker syndrome sometimes, or used to, with a toxic ex and a sick father, um, or was sick before he passed or whatever. And so I always took on the role of caretaker, and so it was hard for me to put myself first a lot. But once I had my awakening and I'm on this new spiritual journey, I'm starting to see that I have to put myself first in order to help those around me. So I still have people that take care. I live with my niece. She doesn't live with her mother, so I'm a prominent figure in her life. So I see a role of having to be a good role model for her, and also my mom, who's lost her boyfriend after my parents split, her longtime boyfriend, lost the father of her children, just like had a lot of loss in her life. So I also feel the need to caretake still, but okay, so that's why it's a challenge for me because I it's like a test from the universe for me to see like I have to put myself first in order to help them. So every day is a challenge, but I'm definitely putting myself first. I'm showing up for myself. I'm investing in myself, and it feels really great. And I just like to share that with you guys, that and me raising my consciousness, whether it was intended or not with my awakening, but like just continuing on this journey is helping the entire household and everything and others. I mean, classmates, like my teachers say it all the time, like I don't know. I feel like I bring an energy places where I'm at that hires everybody's vibes because I try to be happy. Now it took a lot of sadness and a lot of anger to get to the other side. It's like this weird paradox that I've been through that put me to where I am. So I feel like I have to shine. I have to show up for people, but most importantly for myself.
Yeah, I can definitely say that you totally bring an energy with you wherever you go, Sophia. Like that's not even in question. To
I've
be
been
quite
told
honest.
that. I love that. You know how good that makes me feel?
I do. I can actually resonate with that one very much. So it's an epic feeling because working on yourself is like it's a it's a fucking chore and it doesn't stop. And like to show up in this place and like have an energy that's felt positively actually takes a lot of work. And that's what and I mean, like, I guess I want to say like a lot of people don't know that, but I guess I can only really speak for myself, which is like I didn't know that, right? Like I had no idea how to get there, so it wasn't even like, um, yeah. And I think like this is a really amazing topic because I know for me personally, I grew up like always hearing, and I think this is quite common to hear, but like it's like, oh, you're selfish if you want to take time for you, or like, it's kind of like almost looked down upon in a way in society to actually focus on yourself. And I didn't realize that as like I learned that very strongly when I started looking at myself and people were just like, what are you doing? It's like boundaries are something that people are very uncomfortable with. But what I realized was that in understanding myself and like learning myself, that's how I'm able to show up and be of service to others. Because it's really only in knowing um ourselves that we can know the other, if that makes sense. Um, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you're gonna jump on.
No,
Yeah.
I have dogs barking, but I think that totally makes sense, and I can resonate with that so strongly with it being viewed as selfish or like immoral or unethical to put yourself. I almost even like feel shamed to put my like. Actually, I still get that shame to this
Yeah.
day because I still live with family that haven't aren't on the same vibration or in the same mind space. So there's a lot of times where I'll be like, now that I put myself first, if I express that to some people, they're like, they almost look at me sideways, like, oh, you're gonna do that instead of come help me with this, or you're gonna do that instead of stay at home and take care of like, yeah, I am,
So I
because
think it was, I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Mel Robbins, but like said something that it just like it stuck with me. It wasn't. It totally wasn't Mel Robbins. I'm not sure who it was. I can see them, but it wasn't her. Um, but what they said was that they're talking about uh, people being selfish, right? It's like you have somebody who is like, why are you spending time on you instead of spending time on me? You're selfish for not paying attention to me. So, like, who's actually the selfish one in that scenario? Because it's like somebody who wants to take care of themselves versus somebody who wants you to take care of them or like give them your energy. So it's like being told you're selfish is really that in itself. The person who's saying it is probably more selfish than the person trying to like better themselves, you know? Um,
absolutely. And I didn't see that for a long time. I would have. That's why I can't even talk shit, because I would have agreed with that person. Because again, I was like I played the
yeah.
role of caretaker. So like to me, people, it's so fascinating how different I look at things and how much my perspective has changed. Because I would think that previously, I would think that, or like even at work, I worked in corporate for 12 years, and like there was this one girl that like she didn't have a college degree and I did, and she had a higher title than me. But I had, when my sister passed, I had left the company for a little while. So it kept me at a level, like I didn't grow with her. She had jumped a couple steps. It was like a year and a half time that I was gone before I came back. So I like, it's probably a little bit of jealousy too, but like I would look at her and be like, who the hell does she think she is asking for $120,000 a year? She doesn't have a degree. All she has is experience from this one company. Like I would almost like look, but yo, she got it. She got that. And she deserved every fucking bit of that money. And at the time I didn't see it that way. But now I don't think we could be selfish enough. As long as you're not hurting people with your selfishness, like I'm all for taking care of yourself. And now I envy people. Like even growing up, like I would envy women who like knew exactly what they wanted. Like
Mm.
powerful ass women. And I've had a lot in my life, like at work, in school, I've met a lot of people in my life. I think. I mean, anyway, compared to like I don't even know what I'm comparing it to. But like like when a woman knows what she wants, and I say woman because like, that's what I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, but a man too probably can be the same thing can be applied. But like even down to like have like knowing exactly how they like their nails done or something. Like I would go to the nail salon with friends and like girls that were like, "Oh, I don't like the way this looks," or I like the French tip rounded and not square. And like I would sometimes back then I would be like, I don't know, like take the side of the nail tech and be like, "Oh, well that's the way the nail tech did it." When really the girl knows what the hell she wants, and that's so powerful. And
And
it's not even, you know?
I think that's huge because it is, it's like it's very much going against what is already in place versus what you want. And a lot of people don't know. And again, like I say a lot of people, but I'm kind of basing this solely off of my experience. It's like
Mm.
I didn't know what I wanted, and like I have a lot of interactions with people. So that's what I'm basing it off of. Like I think I actually can say that a lot of people don't know what the fuck they want. Yeah, I was trying to like not um rustle things up, but it's very true. But I think that it kind of goes into what we've been fed about, because so honestly, yeah, and I know you are going to be like totally on board with this, but it's like
Yep.
when we start looking at ourselves and we start realizing how powerful we are, we start infecting people with that power, like with that like mentality, with that empowered mindset. And it's almost like scary to the systems that we have in play because we're like really fucking powerful beings. And once we start to recognize that, we start creating our reality and it goes against things that have been put in place very kind of like systemically to keep certain people making money. It's all about money and power right now. And that's what everything has kind of fed into. But yeah, knowing ourselves is how we really like, that's how, like the best way you want to like we're in a place right now where it's like the world is, you look and there's just like chaos everywhere. You want a fucking revolution? Start it here, man. Like that is where like, because we're talking about, I mean, I talk about change all the time. Like I want to help make big change. It all starts here. And that's whatever you're meant to do, whether it's big or small. We all have different sized goals, but without knowing ourselves, we'll never know. And then that goes into like the intuition that we've talked about so much as well, you know. But yeah. Sophia, I want to open up. I know you unmuted before.
No, yeah, no, totally. I'm sorry, the background noise, but
You're good.
it also, I think it also goes into like something we've touched on before, but like flow, being in flow state, or and being like, your lifestyle versus, or like, yeah, just being in flow and trust. Like I keep, actually, I saw this a couple times today, so it's funny it's even brought up, but like just trusting. Once you know yourself, I think, or like start to understand, I think in my experience anyway, once you start to understand the divine creatures, the light being that's underneath all of this, and also like, okay, so I might have mentioned this before, but I have like, sometimes I'm sure other people do. I mean, yeah. So I have like, sometimes I dream like premonitions. So like I've been starting to ask myself a lot lately, like, is is what's gonna happen already determined
Mm,
based on today, or based on a lifetime before, or based on something, because how else otherwise would I have these dreams? So I start to question it a lot. And and maybe it's just for me, but the lesson that I'm learning from it is that maybe I don't have as much control as I believe I do, and to just and kind of let go and trust the universe. And in do you have to know yourself, I think, and trust yourself. And I know, like, lately I've been feeling so really highly about myself because I've been showing. All right, so okay, so really quick. So I've had all of these desires my whole life, but I never followed up on them. I mean, as far even down to like kickboxing, and like, because I started when my spiritual awakening began. I started on this spiritual journey. I had to write down what I wanted out of life because I wasn't happy, and I'm sure people can relate. And I was made good money. I had good schooling, but there was something missing, something profoundly missing. So I had to sit down with myself and say, how do I make myself better? What do I desire? What's gonna make me freaking smile when I wake up? Instead of like get out of bed like, oh, I gotta go to this fucking office and drink 6 cups of coffee just to get me through like this misery. So I forget what my point was, but basically that in pursuing my desires, I've raised my confidence and the authority in myself, and I'm able to let go a little more and let the universe do its thing, and just kind of like sit back for the ride. I set actions, I set intentions. I know you guys have heard this trained. Work with the moon because I believe it's really profound. It's worked wonders for me as far as setting intentions and manifesting. Um, but I've learned to take a step back, and I think it's definitely raised my vibrations, and I think it helps, and we're all connected, which is like, it's so easy to hear this because I hear it from people all the time, spiritual people on YouTube, and like, I hear it all the time, but when you actually, like, I actually feel it lately,
yeah.
like the interconnectedness between us all, and I feel like I have to show up for everyone else.
Yo, this is perfect. This is perfect because I had this whole like revelation that came to me the other day, and it's it had to do with like, and we've talked about this before, how people are the best messengers, right? So
Yeah.
like messengers from spirit, right? Like if there's a
Yes.
message that's going to come through, you'll have like random people come up and you will get that message, right? And it was a shower thought because I've been percolating on this idea for a couple of days, and yesterday was my shower thought was how like us truly getting ourselves to that flow state, right? And allowing ourselves to be of service in big ways as well as small ways, like bringing so, okay, so I've been percolating on this, but I guess I haven't really talked it out yet. um but pretty much like in interactions, the more present and in the flow, which I think comes a lot back to understanding oneself and like being able to get in that place, like very much what you were just saying. But being in that place, you almost can bring like a gift to the gods to every experience because you know that you are in a place to just allow whatever needs to be said in that moment to that person. So it's like showing up to be of service in every small interaction that you have, by allowing that flow to go through you, and you're able to deliver the messages whether you're aware of it or not. But I think that being aware of it, and like obviously having this conversation, it would be a different awareness brought into it. um yeah, I think that that's like a really powerful way for us knowing ourselves to really like eh, be of benefit to others as
No,
well, you know?
sorry, and I encourage, like, I'm so happy you just said that, actually. I encourage everybody, because I've been doing this lately, actually. It's so crazy you just brought this up, actually, because, like, and I mean, forget about the past, but currently now in the new Sophia, in the new perspective, if I get an intuition to say something, like, even like if a lady's walking by and I like her scarf, nowadays I'll be
Mhm.
like, hey, that's a dope scarf. You know what? Because I think I understand that because it comes to me through other people when I hear messages. So I've been very I hope everybody, I encourage everybody, if you get a little tinkling intuition to say something to somebody, or I mean, yeah, to communicate in some type of way, that you do that because it could be important for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that you said that about like um complimenting people on their outfits or like just like anything that comes to mind because I've had that thought before when I'm like passing somebody, I'm like, and it'll be like, say something, say this, say, you know, like, and
Yeah.
so like, and I'll say it, and it's like, I've walked past literally being like, I have no idea what that just did for that person's day. Like, you know, like it could ripple through in ways that I have no freaking idea, but I know that in that moment, she needed, him, they needed to hear whatever I had to say, or else it
And
wouldn't have come through.
I'd like to guarantee, I know I can't, but that is the case. Because there's been times before when I'm thinking about if I should wear this scarf. I mean, I'm using the scarf example, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll wear it or whatever. And then somebody, or like two or three people, will be
Hmm.
like, that's a nice scarf. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's like, it's cool, man.
Nailed
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's
that's
just like a
cool.
little example. So I'm trying it myself, that every little intuition, even if it's like, dude, it could be so small. I'm just trying to go with the flow. I'm trying to listen to my higher self, raising my consciousness, raising my connection with my higher self, and with spirit, and with whatever it is we can't see and can't explain.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's like, kind of like to kinda tie this all together, that is the one having a part in the oneness. Like, we are all connected, and as much as, like, we might be told otherwise, working on ourselves and Sophia, like you said, like, just like the little practices that you have done that have allowed you to get out of bed with a smile on your face. That alone, like that alone ripples throughout the day. It radiates completely different energy than a lot of people are used to. Like we come across people and it's just like, oh, that wasn't an interaction I felt really like stoked on, you know? But then like somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey dude, how you doing? Like, how's your day? And you're just like, wow, we got butterflies and like the day is just great all of a sudden, you know? So it is like
Oh,
it's huge how much, but like just bettering ourselves really like like it has such effects on humanity. It's amazing.
that shit brings such joy to my heart. I can't like it, because I make sure to do that now, and I really hope that it has such a profound effect on others.
Yeah, yeah,
It
for
brings joy
sure.
to me. Imagine what it does to some.
Absolutely. And I think that's like I think that's huge, right? And like and especially like both of us are pretty empathetic people. And it's
Oh
like
my
almost
god, yeah.
like yeah. Yeah. Almost yeah, too
Oh my
much.
god, I can cry just like hearing somebody anyway. Yeah,
Eh,
I mean,
but
I
in those
it's on so.
interactions, you can almost feel how they are feeling by, like, the energy that you give it with. You know, like, I anticipate that it's received with the energy that's given. So if it's like, "Oh, you look like crap," like, yeah, obviously, it's not gonna be feeling but if you're like, "Oh, you look really good," you know, like, that comes with an energy that'll really, like, boost people up, you know? It's cool.
Yeah, and you get cues too from their reaction, or like you said, your energy. There's vibrations you can literally feel. If you ever walked past somebody that like is, I guess like I mean like super power or super, I don't know. You can feel it. It's literally I mean it's literally energy. Or somebody who's depressed, you could feel it. You could
Most
see it.
definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely, and
So
I don't know that that's everybody, right?
yeah,
Like,
that's true.
I think that's clairsentience, right? Yes, clairsentience is like the ability to pick that up, and not everybody is going to have that ability. But I mean, if your emotional IQ is moderate, you can usually sense something. If you don't, if emotional IQ isn't something, emotional intelligence isn't something that has been worked on, then that's absolutely fine, and you'd probably miss the cues. But
True.
you know, but
But still highly encouraged to spread love and raise us all up.
all of us, just starts with you and me and Sophia and like everybody else.
Eh,
Just one it just takes us working on us. And that's like the easiest thing, right? Like, it's, I mean, the easiest, I say the easiest. We can have a whole nother conversation about the vulnerability gap, which, oh my goodness, I've been working on my communication, and this vulnerability gap has been a game changer. So that's actually like, that would be a really cool episode, because it's a topic that I am like floored on right now. I forget where I was going. I totally just went straight to that gap. um, but we are going to have to wrap this episode up
Yeah.
here. Um, but share with us. Share your experience of like how you've interacted with people and had your day completely changed, or how you've experienced changing somebody else's day just by showing up and being yourself.
Or how you're working on yourself to raise us all up. I'd love to hear maybe
Yeah,
maybe it'll shine light on something I can do.
absolutely. Absolutely. Always looking for more ways to better ourselves. So
We're all in
definitely,
this together.
always, always. Well, thank you all for joining us again. I hope you have a great day, night, week, morning,
Easter, Passover, if you celebrate it.
all of it. Yes. Yes. And we will see you next week. See you.
Bye.